I need to do something about this bare wall. Anyway, I just saw Black Panther Wakanda Forever, and I have just a few thoughts. Letting you know right up front, I liked a majority of this movie. Overall, I think it's positive. There's going to be quite a bit of negativity in regards to how I felt about this movie. But a lot of my perspective kind of changed a little bit once I learned exactly how much time they had between the passing of Chadwick Boseman and how much time they had to rewrite this movie. So strap in, here we go. Overall, I think it was a pretty good movie. I thought it was actually really good when it was focusing on the family relationship and how they were dealing with the death of King T'Challa. So, like, honestly, the first act was fantastic because that's basically what it was dealing with. The third act I thought was also pretty good because it was about Shuri stepping into her role as the leader of Wakanda and her role as the new Black Panther. I thought all of that was very well done. But somewhere in the middle of the movie, it just did not work for me. I think... See, here's where the issues come in. I think this movie would have been a better movie if it had focused on the family relationships and, honestly, how the country of Wakanda came together to, you know, I think if it was more personal story. It branched out a little too much. I was shocked to see that this movie, the villain's plan was essentially not world domination, but it was a world-ending plot. And I'm like, this is not what was needed for this movie after real-life events took place, obviously. But then I learned they only had 6 months to do a complete rewrite of the movie. They had this movie written already with Chadwick Boseman still in it, obviously. So it's kind of hard to say that, like, it wasn't anything to do with the rewrites that I had an issue with. It was what the original plot was. With what's his name? Namor. It was weird. I got weird, like, tell me if I'm wrong, but like Aquaman vibes and weirdly Avatar, The Shape of Water vibes, which is bizarre because that movie's not even out yet. But how is it that both these movies deal with blue people in the ocean? I guess time will tell once the Avatar sequel comes out. But yeah, I think it was just kind of a mess. And I think the big issue is it was way too long. There was absolutely no reason this movie needed to be 2 hours and 41 minutes long. And the issue is there was just so much stuff in this movie that did not need to be there. Don't get me wrong, I love Martin Freeman, and it was sorry, I gotta look this up. Oh, this is embarrassing. Ironheart, Dominique Thorne. They were all good. This movie, honestly, what I loved too was the acting. Everyone in this movie was fantastic. Everyone was so good. They just like killed it. Angela Bassett was amazing. It's just some story decisions that didn't make any sense. I think Ironheart shouldn't have been in this movie at all. That could have cut out 40 minutes of this movie, and literally she was only in this movie as setup for her show. Why she couldn't just have her show, I don't know. She didn't really add anything to this movie. She didn't really do anything to like make her being in the movie worth it. And I think she was great. Don't get me wrong. It did get me excited for the Ironheart TV show, but it just wasn't needed. And Martin Freeman, I like him. He was in the last movie, so like kind of made sense for him to be in this. But again, all it was setup for Julia Louis-Dreyfus' character. I'm not even gonna look up who she is. But they didn't need to be in this movie either. I'm sorry. I'm just going to say it. If this needed to be more focused on like family and country, I think personally. But all in all, what I thought was good was really, really good. But what I thought was bad was just not good. It has a lot of these same problems that Phase 4 has had. It's a lot of setup and it's not a lot of payoff, which I understand they did that in phase 1 and phase 2, but like at this point, like, I don't know, just tell a better story. That's just my opinion. It's weird to say that this is probably the second best phase 4 movie, and that's coming after Spider-Man. So, and that's not even, I mean, it's an MCU movie, but it's a Spider-Man movie. Come on. Nothing really affected the MCU. So yeah, I like, honestly, as much as I liked parts of this movie, it does leave me worried for the future of this franchise. And I hate that I say that, because I've always been on the side of, oh, come on, just like enjoy for what it is. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know what to do. I'm gonna keep watching it. Maybe this was just a slight blip, because the blip. But yeah, I'm gonna keep watching as much as I can when I can. Will I watch all the shows? I don't know. But I'm worried it's getting to the point like the DC shows that I talked about in my video about the MCU. I'm worried that if I don't watch these shows, I'm not going to understand some of the things that happened in the movies. I'm a little worried. But, all in all, this movie worked for the most part. I think they did a great deal of service and respect for Chadwick Boseman. Letitia Wright was fantastic. She nailed being the main character after being, just a side character in the first movie. She was so good. Everyone was just amazing. So yeah, this is a weird movie because I liked a lot of it, but I also really didn't like a lot of it as well. So yeah, those are basically my thoughts on Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. That's another thing. I kept saying like it should be more about Wakanda. It's called Wakanda Forever. I mean, I know that that's because that was like the saying from the first movie, but like, I don't know, maybe make it more about Wakanda. Wakanda was not really that involved. I feel like Wakanda was definitely like a character in the first movie. And I feel like Wakanda was just kind of sidestepped, which was a weird choice. But those are just my thoughts. What are yours? Talk to you soon. Bye.